to another live episode of the Wealthy Boss Show. I'm your host, Mariah Seacrest Comer, and tonight I'm so excited. I've been waiting so long to be able to have my special guest on the show, Renae Christine. I'm just about to introduce her, but first I want to let you know we're going to be chatting tonight about self-care and creating healthy habits while running a business. So if this is important not only to you, but if you also happen to have a community or tribe of entrepreneurs who you know might struggle in this area to make time for themselves and their health, go ahead and share this video out and we will get started. We've got lots of good stuff up ahead. So Renae, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I want to give just a quick introduction for you before we dive into our questions. So for everyone who doesn't know Renae Christine, which is probably not many of you, she is the owner of the wildly successful online company Cupcake Trainings. With kids in tow, Renae Christine built a six-figure stationery company from home and is now teaching others how to build their own handmade empire. The demand for Renae's help eventually became so great that she could no longer help everyone she loved. And she loves everyone. Thus, Renae started a YouTube channel in 2012 where she could help others start and expand their handmade businesses en masse. Renae's trainings have since gone viral, and now she's known as the leading handmade business educator in the world with over 2.5 million views on her YouTube channel alone. So Renae, in your words, how would you describe, just a little bit about what you do in this online space?
Sure. I teach women and men who have awesome craft skills how to put those craft skills online and become like handmade titans, super awesome online entrepreneurs who make a lot of money and are respected.
I love it. And you certainly are respected as their educator. And if I can brag on you a little bit, just so everyone can kind of get an idea of how successful you are, because I think that's an important underlying foundation to understand going into some of the questions that I have for you. You're definitely in like the 7-figure mark now with your business, right?
Yes.
Or more? Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Yes. So Renae has worked her little behind off, and she's one of the ones that it's easy to look at and say, oh, well, success is easy for her. But I have a feeling, and we're gonna chat a little bit about that tonight, that it hasn't always been so easy for you, right, Renae?
No, it's like walking through a minefield with poopy bombs and all sorts of sticky fingers.
So let's talk about that. So, sticky fingers, you have 3 kids. When you first started out on this online business and creating online courses to help other people do what you had done, your kids were pretty little, I think, then. And just because I know, a little bit of your backstory, you've been through a divorce. At the time, you probably didn't have a ton of money to invest back into your business. So I think that there's a tendency for all of us to kind of blame the circumstances that we're in or kind of use that as an excuse not to be able to go after our goals, whether that's goals with our body, whether it's goals with our business. There's definitely that temptation to believe, well, this is just what I have to work with. So I'm kind of curious, looking back, did you ever feel that way? And, what would you say to someone who thinks that because they have kids or because their financial situation is what it is, that they can't rise up to meet their dreams?
First of all, I love excuses. I'm like the biggest excuser maker. I have quit my businesses. Any business that I've been in, I have quit dozens of times out of frustration and then made excuses and excuse after excuse. But ultimately, just your priorities come into play. And for me, I was a single mom with 3 kids, and my parents and all of my family and support was out of state. And according to Las Vegas laws, like, I could not take the kids out of state. So it was literally make it work or go live in a shelter. Yeah. That's how desperate it was. So So I was making excuses for a while, but then it was like, the excuses aren't helping me very much. So I better like find a way. So that always kind of.
Yeah. Your dreams became more important than your excuses.
Yes, absolutely. And the kids
And
eating.
kids, yeah. The dreams of your kids. Yeah. The dreams for your family. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So with that in mind, first of all, I love entrepreneurs. That's part of the reason that, I kind of narrowed my focus to work primarily with entrepreneurs. Is I'm just so freaking impressed by all the ones that I meet. And I feel like, entrepreneurs just have something special about them that makes them really generous and open-hearted and really excited to give and have an impact on the world. But along with that, I see this tendency with a lot of them, particularly women, although I'm sure it happens with men too, to invest outside themselves so much that it's to the detriment of their own business and their own body, their own self-care. So I hear from a lot of entrepreneurs who volunteer with this and they do this for their kids and they're in this school function and they have this social responsibility. And I'm really curious to see what your thoughts are on all that, about kind of giving to the point where it's kind of hurting yourself.
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't want to be like Mother Teresa here. I say no to almost every school function there is. PTA, no, just because it's the one thing that I can cut out that allows me time for my business. And no one expects like the CEO, male CEO of a major company to come in and do the PTA. So why me? Like, I love you guys, and I love my kids and I love the school, but I have to make a decision. If I say yes to one, I'm saying no to the other. Right. So that's easier for me to say no to than anything. But man, it's really hard to balance. In fact, I was just telling my followers yesterday at how difficult it is to balance. And when you're like, I'm going to step it up, I'm going to balance everything. I'm going to make a list and I'm going to write down a schedule and I'm going to do this and this. And then right as soon as that you see it in paper in front of you, you melt down and explode everyone around you that messes with the schedule. It's like, you can't schedule all that because stuff's going to happen. So you almost just have to say, I'm just going to get to work and we're going to see how far we can push this thing.
Yeah. And I also think because life always happens, like, my gosh, like, I'm a list maker, I will put a schedule to everything so that I can balance it all. And as soon as I do that, I mean, something completely unforeseen happens and throws it all out anyway. So I think the more we can try to anticipate that and manage that and just expect that there's going to be a lot of chaos thrown in the mix, we kind of have more of a buffer. But I definitely think a lot of people kind of struggle with that guilt that they have to do all these things that aren't necessarily putting themselves forward in their business or in their health or in their body. And I'm glad you agree with that, because I'm of the opinion that if your finances are a wreck and your body is a wreck, then you'll focus on those first, and then you're going to be able to have the power and the energy and the capacity and the resources to be able to expand outside yourself. But I definitely have a heart to see entrepreneurs taking better care of themselves, because I know that they tend to put themselves last. And
and it is a sick addiction. Let's not lie. Like, entrepreneurism, you get into it in your business, and if you're passionate, because you're supposed to be passionate about it, right? You get so passionate and addicted that you almost go into this bubble and you can't see anything else. So I think that's a lot of it too. Is I have a hard time when I call it a fever, like when I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to get this done. And it's like 2 weeks worth of stuff that I want to finish in a weekend. Yep. Like, my health goes out the window, because I'm like, oh, I'll go back to being healthy after I do X, Y, and Z. And it throws all the balance off. And then I feel like, poo-poo.
Yep.
And it never works out for me in the best way that I imagine it to.
You usually don't look back and think like, oh, wow, I'm glad I burned myself, or ran myself into the ground, right?
Yeah.
Usually not.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I first met you, which I think was about 18 months ago, were on a mission to transform your body. But you ended up experiencing kind of a change on a deeper level. Wow.
There was a bug.
That's why you shouldn't live in the woods. Come back to the desert.
Did you guys
and I was getting all spiritual here.
I'm sorry.
She's trying to get out of the question. She's trying to get out of the question, I think.
I apologize.
Right.
Okay.
Wow. I don't know how to come back from that because it was, all right, we're going to do a meditation.
So sorry. Okay. Everybody,
that didn't just happen. You know, you could be in the middle of an interview and a cricket can jump down your bra. But you just never know.
It almost made it.
We'll know later if he ended up making it.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear from you. Like I said, when we first met about 18 months ago, you had approached me and you were kind of on a mission to transform your body, which a lot of people start out with just that goal to look a certain way in their clothes or, feel a certain way. But a few months into it, it seemed like you were really experiencing a change on a deeper level, that it wasn't just about your body. It wasn't just about, what clothes size you were fitting into. And if it's okay for me to read something you had sent me during that time, you told me, I feel like I've been holding my breath for 15 years, and this week I finally let go, letting go of the perfectionism just a bit, and happy to continue to make slow changes. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that experience of how, setting out to work on your body ended up having a much deeper impact than just your body?
Oh man, I forgot I wrote that. But yeah, you're right. I discovered, when you struggle with starting to eat healthy, I learned, sometimes it's so much deeper. So your brain is fighting you, it's so much deeper. It's such a deeper fight. And it's like, why are you fighting with me? It's just a piece of lettuce. Put it in your mouth. Why is this such a problem?
Right.
But yeah, it was a lot deeper. So when I discovered that I had fears below it, that if I did achieve that body, the way I would be looked at or treated, or that I would no longer be respected, I had a lot of YouTube haters when I first started out that called me, gave me I don't want to get all descriptive, but I got a lot of rape threats when I first started out.
Wow.
And yeah, so I gained weight because it was like a waiter, and then they stopped. So it freaked me out that it's like,
wow,
if I lose the weight, I get it. I'll feel good. I'll look good. Tom will be happy. Tom would be happy no matter what. But it scared me, and so I realized I had a lot deeper fears that I had to deal with to change. Wow.
That's really, really powerful. And you did, you didn't let that hold you back. And I think that's, that's the important piece, is to understand, what's going on and then not stay there, not let that hold you back from what's important to you.
Oh yeah, now I have mace and a gun and ring.com and all sorts of other stuff.
and a hot body, right?
Yeah. Now I'm not scared of rapists. I'm more scared of bugs.
Well, that sounds like a pretty valid fear for what we see. Maybe I will gift you with an exterminator for your birthday. Okay, so in your fitness journey and in your healthy habit journey, you've had some ups and downs. And in the Boss Body system, I'm definitely a big advocate of anticipating challenges, knowing that they're going to happen, knowing that there are ebbs and flows. If there were not ebbs and flows, you wouldn't be normal, and to not freak out about them. What are some of the challenges and ups and downs and ebbs and flows that you've had since starting on this journey and really getting a lot of success in the way you look and in the way you feel?
Thank you. That's one of the best things that I learned from Boss Body, was that it's okay to have problems all along the way, almost like a fail forward type of thing.
Yes.
So every time I screw up, it's like, that's okay. We're still working through it. And every day I try to do a little bit better. And sometimes I fall back. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of thing. But sometimes I'll get 10 steps forward and go 20 steps back.
Sure.
as long as I keep trying, keep moving forward, the weight just doesn't come back and I end up feeling good. So if I go out to eat with my family and I'm like, man, I know I should get the salad, but then I end up getting the pizza, it's like, it's going to be okay. And I just have one piece of pizza instead. But even if I eat 10 pieces of pizza, it's okay because I know I'm going to keep wherever I'm at is where I'm supposed to be. That's what I learned with Mariah. And I don't use that as an excuse. Like I know a lot of people will be like, oh good, I'm having pizza every day. I don't use that as an excuse. Just I check my mind every single day and say, where am I ready to be today? And I go to that place. And ironically enough, more often than not, my mind wants to choose to be healthy. So as long as I'm constantly like present, then it works. But I lived in a hotel for 4 months, as you know, and that was one of the biggest setbacks. And I actually was like, sorry, Mariah, this ain't working. Like, I was working with Mariah, and then we went to a hotel for 4 months. And the hotel didn't have a kitchen. It just had like a mini fridge that barely worked. There was no room in it. And we had a microwave that also barely worked. And it was like, can't do this. Sorry, Mariah, bye. And I said bye to Mariah. And I was like, I gotta
putting a meal plan together for you. And you're like, oh, wait, I don't even have a stove. Just kidding.
Yeah. I was like, please help me. And then I'm like, never mind. So I gained a ton of weight from the hotel. But as soon as I got into the house, I thought, it's okay because Mariah said I'm where I need to be. And I took a really ugly before picture and I immediately got started and I lost all of the weight and more. And I'm not like freakishly thin or anything, but like, hold on.
Like, I don't want people.
I'm not bad.
You look awesome.
Like, I'm much better than when you first met me.
You look amazing. No, I've drastically noticed the difference after you started making those changes and getting serious about it. But
I broke up with the scale, but I know I've lost at least 30 to 40 pounds easily.
Oh, yeah, you look amazing and you feel amazing, which is what's important. But the only way you've done that is to have that mindset shift so that it's not about being perfect every time. Because that's what I see derails so many people is they think that somehow they're just going to muster up enough willpower to never eat chocolate again. And that's not realistic. And that type of expectation is going to lead to disappointment, which leads, anytime that you are not feeling confident about something, that makes you, what does that make you want to do? Not do it again, right? So I'm so excited. What are some areas that you still see that perfectionism kind of pop up now and again that you kind of have to, because that's the hardest habit. It's not what you eat. It's not, how often you exercise. Those are not the hardest habits to break. It's this internal habit of like beating yourself up when these things happen. Yeah. So what kind of, like, in what ways do you still kind of see perfectionism pop up now and then?
I have a hard time when like family members come into town to visit because I'm the host and I want to make them happy. So I want to give them cookies and cakes and everything, even though like most of the time, like my parents eat healthy, but I'm like, but you're on vacation. So smorgasbord, like cheese platter, bring the cheese platter.
One of those expectations of what.
Yeah. And they're my parents. So I like revert to being a child in a way, so I'm like, don't disappoint my daddy.
Right.
So then I'm eating with him because I don't want him to think I'm weird and on a diet or something.
Right.
So then I beat myself up later. It's like, just relax.
Yes.
That's always easier said than done.
I'm sorry?
That's always easier said than done, though.
It is, because social expectations play such a huge role in our choices and how we feel about food or how we act about food, even if we're feeling differently. So that definitely can be, an area where we can find ourselves kind of jumping off the bandwagon, but at the same time, always recognizing, especially if we can know that that's going to be our weak spot, maybe planning around it and maybe planning to eat a little bit cleaner in the weeks leading up to it and knowing that it's just going to kind of even out. So
yeah, it does. And it does. I'm shocked that it really does. As long as you don't just let go and you're like, I just don't care anymore. As long as you don't do that, you really can balance stuff out.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. What do you find happens to your productivity levels, kind of bringing it back into your business? Because often our desire to build our dreams and pour in our business and feed our families, which are pretty big and important desires, are the things that we use to kind of hold us back or make us feel maybe guilty for exercising or spending time on meal prep or getting good sleep and having healthy habits. What do you notice, though, about your productivity and basically how effective you are in your business when you're making time to invest in those healthy habits?
It's so funny because I always thought like I need fast food because I have to be fast. But then I learned like, I'm like, hello, like I have no time to like cook something or whatever. But then I learned that a bag of spinach and a bag of carrots and 3 bananas is faster than any fast food. And it works. And it's the most awesome lunch. You can eat it right at your desk. You don't have to think. Like, you know how people are like, when you get the potato chips, make sure you just put them in a little bowl and make sure you're like mindfully eating each one. You do not have to mindfully eat anything. Just grab the carrots this much and just eat them in front of your desk. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to mindfully think about it. Just get them in and you'll be like, why do I feel so good? Why am I so peppy?
Yeah. And I don't pay much attention at all to portion control because I'm primarily eating healthy food. And so that makes
as soon as I stopped calorie counting, that's when it just melted off me. And I got rid of the scale, no more calorie counting. And I said, I'm just going to eat everything healthy and nothing not healthy except for the times that I screw up.
Sure.
And it just it melted off like butter.
That's awesome. So obviously spending time on your body and your health has not detracted from your business then, which might have been a fear.
I would say the initial learning of what health did take some time away from my business. I would say I spent 3 weeks really studying what health really is. I mean, like, what are the vitamins inside a carrot and what is B12 and why do I need it? And what the heck is spirulina? Stuff like that took me about 3 weeks. But after that, now I'm faster with eating healthy than I would be without.
Right.
If I could eat healthy, which in turn makes my business like run faster and better than ever before.
Awesome. I love that. So that initial investment in time has really started to pay back in all areas of your life, which helps with the work-life balance kind of feeling, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, easily.
Awesome. So in what ways, kind of broadening the conversation up beyond just nutrition or exercise, but thinking in terms of just self-care and being kind to yourself and taking time for yourself and nurturing these healthy habits, in what ways have self-care become easier for you as you become more successful? And in what ways did you maybe think self-care practices would be easier when you got to be successful, but in reality didn't have anything to do with that?
Okay, so this is what I learned. I learned that some stuff is self-care, like people say it's self-care, but you might not really care about. So your self-care should be stuff that you really want to do, because people kept telling me to do stuff like take a long bath and, go to the beach and stuff. And it's like, I like to lay a blanket out on my driveway and lie down for 10 minutes in a bathing suit. That's what I like to do. And it only takes me 10 minutes and I feel like $1 million afterwards. And it's only 10 minutes, so I can't be damaging the skin too much, but it's just enough vitamin D that I'm like, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So do you ever drive by Renae's house and just see her hanging out in the driveway? She's okay.
Oh, I know that neighbors have seen me. They're like, she's weird. I don't even go out into the lawn. I like the pavement. I like the hot pavement through the blanket.
You sound just like my Chihuahua. She likes to lay out on hot concrete. And
I'm from the desert too.
Got a lot.
So don't listen to people who are like, lotion yourself up and make yourself smelly for good self-care. It's like, I don't want to. That's torture to me. So stop listening to people who are like, do this, you'll feel good. Do what you think feels good, because then you won't, then that's real self-care, because you're tapping into what you really want and you're delivering it.
I love that. And are there any areas that you felt like you were putting off like self-care until you reached, X level of success that maybe surprised you, that once you found that level of success, you're like, oh, maybe it's just a choice?
I don't even know if it's a level, because even when I hit 7 figures, it just like the fever keeps going and the addiction keeps going, and you're like, more.
Right.
I think it's the fact that I've been doing online businesses since 2006. So once I hit the 10-year mark, I was like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't think it's going to end. So that's when I was like, if I don't take time for myself, like, I'm going to be dead and I won't have laid on the pavement.
Right. Then we're going to have to work in the driveway. It'll be for different reasons. Right.
Yeah.
You'll lay in the driveway now, or you're going to later when you're done. Right.
Yeah. So it's like, but if not now, when are you going to do it? Eventually you kind of hit that wall where it's like, I'm going to quit if I don't make even just 10 minutes for myself. And that's all I get for myself each day is 10 minutes for the pavement, but that's all I want.
And I also think it's really ironic that as much as we hustle as entrepreneurs and create vision boards and have this idea of how we want our lives to look, how many of us are not really practicing self-care, even in the amount that we could, or when we reach X dollar amount that we think will be considered to be successful or whatever. We really shy away from that. And yet most of what we say that we want as entrepreneurs is that freedom to enjoy our life. So what's the point of it all if we're not able to really enjoy our life and enjoy our family and be able to be in the present moment, which I know does not come easily for us as entrepreneurs, but I know it's also that dream that keeps driving us to do what we do.
Yeah, and those dream boards are filled up with a lot of stuff people don't really care about either. They're like, I know the world says sunsets, but they might hate sunsets. I like sunsets, though.
Who hates sunsets? I don't think I'd want to know anyone who hated sunsets.
I think I'm thinking more about massages. Like, I know everybody's obsessed with massages. Everybody wants them, but I hate massages.
Massages?
No, I'm like, don't touch me.
I will take your massage any day. You can donate them all to me.
A wonderful bestie gave me a birthday gift last year of a massage, like a certificate. It's still sitting in my desk. And like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I should use it, but I don't want to be touched. It's like, I feel like I got the gift of someone touching me. But that's just my point. It's like, we got to really think of what we really do want and do that. Because then it won't feel like we have to do so much of it. Like those dream boards have like 20 things that they're like, I want to be doing this and this and this and this and this for my lifestyle. Do you really want to do all that? Or do you just want to lay on the pavement?
Yeah. Well, and again, it comes back to, being an entrepreneur is following your own path and not the path that someone else does for you, even if that's what a bunch of entrepreneurs say is success, right?
The Instagram path.
I love that. You're hilarious. All right. Well, where can people find you and learn more about you?
You can find me at cupcaketrainings.com. That's my main page there.
Love it. Quick comments. Madeline, thank you so much for watching. She says, great to hear from both of you and looking forward to more. Thank you so much. And we would love to hear your comments in the comments below about your journey as an entrepreneur, how you prioritize self-care, those areas that are sometimes a challenge for you, and how we can help support you to take that time for yourself. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having me, Mariah.
Thank you so much, Renae. Take care.